Good morning, dear friends. Welcome to our channel Infinity Learn Mathematics in a Simple Way. So today we are going to learn the what about the polynomials. So first of all, try to understand the important terms, definition and results related to the what polynomial. If you know the what these important terms, definition and results, then only it is very easy to solve the what the MCQs on the what polynomials. So let us try to understand the definition of what polynomial. The first definition here, an expression of the form p of x is equal to an x to the power n plus an minus 1 x raised to n minus 1 plus so on up to a1 x plus a naught. Listen once again. An expression of the form p of x is equal to an x raised to n plus an minus 1 x raised to n minus 1 plus so on up to a1 x plus a naught is a naught, where ax square plus bx plus c is called the what? A polynomial in x of degree n. Here the expression of the form, this form of the expression is called as what? Polynomial, where ax square plus bx plus c is called a polynomial in x of degree n. Here a naught, a1, listen carefully here. What is this a naught, a1, a2, so on up to what? An are the what? Real numbers. Means what? In the expression a0, a1, a2 and so on up to an are called as what? Real numbers, and each power of x is a non-negative integer, and the each power of x is what? The power of x is what? Non-negative, and it must be a whole number, then it is said to be what? A polynomial. Yes, once again try to understand. An expression of the form an x raised to n plus an minus 1 x raised to n minus 1 plus an plus so on up to a1 x plus a naught, where a naught, a1, a2, an are called the real numbers, and each power of x is a non-negative here, and such equation is called as what? Polynomial, where ax square plus bx plus c is called a polynomial in the x of degree n, we can say. Next, see here once again, the degree of the, and polynomial is denoted by p of x, f of x, or g of x, or q of x, whatever form it may be. P of x, we are denoting the polynomial p of x, g of x, or any alphabet we can use. The degree of the polynomial, let us try to understand what is the meaning of degree of the polynomial. It is very important. The exponent means what? The power, the exponent of the highest degree term, the exponent of the what? Highest degree term in a polynomial. Suppose the polynomial is given to you, the highest power or highest exponent is known as its degree of the polynomial. Remember, the exponent of the what? Highest degree exponent in degree term in a polynomial is known as what? It's the degree of the polynomial. That is, exponent means what? Suppose this is what? X cube plus 2x square plus 3x plus 4. It is a polynomial. Its highest exponent is what here? 3. So this is called as what? Cubic polynomial. So this highest power is called as what? Degree of the polynomial. This highest power is called as what? Degree of the polynomial. Suppose if it is 5. In this polynomial, see the variable here. Here power is 1, here 2, and this is what? Here 5. This highest power is called as what? Degree of the polynomial. And remember one more thing, the exponent is always, it must be what? Always whole number. Then it is said to be what? Polynomial. Yes, or highest power of x in a polynomial, that is p of x, or highest power of x in a polynomial p of x is a degree of what? Polynomial. Listen carefully. Highest power of x in a polynomial p of x is called the what? Degree of the polynomial, and this power must be, power or exponent must be whole number. It must be what? whole number, then it is called as what? Degree of the polynomial. Clear all of you? Yes. So we are moving to the what? Next one. Next come here. Types of the polynomial. It is very important, the types classification of the what polynomial, on the basis of what degree we are doing the what classification. If the degree of the polynomial is 0, then that polynomial is called as what? Constant polynomial. If the degree of the polynomial is 0, then that polynomial is called as what? Constant polynomial. Form of the polynomial, that is p of x is equal to what? A. P of x is equal to what? A, where a is what? Constant. Yes. And come to the what second one. If the degree of the polynomial is 1, if the degree of the polynomial is 1, then the polynomial is called linear polynomial. Linear polynomial. The linear form of the polynomial is general form. P of x is equal to what? Ax plus b. See here, the power of x is what here? 1. If nothing is there, means at that time the power of the variable is what? 1, where a and b are the what? Real numbers, we can say. And if the degree of the polynomial is 2, if the degree of the polynomial, अगर polynomial की degree 2 हो तो उसे हम बोलते हैं quadratic polynomial. Clear all of you? If the degree of the polynomial is 2, if the degree of the polynomial is 2, then that polynomial is called quadratic polynomial. जो polynomial की degree यानी कि कुव्वत यानी कि पावर 2 होती है तो उसे हम बोलते हैं क्वाड्रेटिक पोलिनोमियल. द क्वाड्रेटिक पोलिनोमियल का जनरल फॉर्म यानी कि मियारी शक्ल बोलते हैं हमें p ऑफ x इज इक्वल टू ए एक्स स्क्वायर प्लस बी एक्स प्लस सी. दिस इज द व्हाट जनरल फॉर्म ऑफ द व्हाट जनरल फॉर्म ऑफ द व्हाट quadratic polynomial. Ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0, where a is not equal to 0. If the degree of the polynomial is 3, if the degree in the highest power of the polynomial, if it is 3, then that polynomial is called cubic polynomial. वो polynomial, अगर polynomial की कुव्वत या डिग्री 3 हो तो उसको हम बोलते हैं cubic polynomial. That is p of x is equal to ax cube plus bx square plus cx plus d, and where a is not equal to 0 and a की वैल्यू कभी भी 0 के बराबर नहीं होती है. नेक्स्ट फोर्थ, if degree is, if the degree, if the highest, if degree is 4, if degree is 4, then the polynomial is called biquadratic. Then the polynomial is called biquadratic polynomial. अगर कुव्वत polynomial की 4 हो तो उसे हम बोलते हैं biquadratic polynomial. इसका जो जनरल फॉर्म है p of x is equal to ax raised to 4 plus bx cube plus cx square plus d, where a is not equal to 0. Yes. Clear? So let us define the what polynomial one more. A degree, a polynomial, a polynomial, a polynomial of degree 0, जो polynomial की degree 0 हो तो is called a constant polynomial. उसको हम बोलते हैं constant polynomial. A polynomial of degree 1, a polynomial of degree 1 is called a linear polynomial. जो polynomial की degree 1 होती है उसे हम क्या बोलते हैं? Linear polynomial बोलते हैं. A polynomial of degree 2, a polynomial of degree 2, जो polynomial की डिग्री यानी कि कुव्वत 2 हो तो उसे हमें क्या बोलते हैं? क्वाड्रेटिक polynomial बोलते हैं. is called a quadratic polynomial. A polynomial of degree 3, जो polynomial की डिग्री 3 होती है is called a cubic polynomial. अगर polynomial की डिग्री 3 हो तो उसे हम बोलते हैं cubic polynomial. Next, a polynomial of degree 4, a polynomial of degree 4, जो polynomial की degree 4 ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಏನಪ್ಪ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬಹುಪದೋಕ್ತಿಯ ಏನಪ್ಪ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಘಾತನಾಕ ಇತರದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ बाइक्वाड्रेटिक polynomial ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. इसे हमें क्या बोलते हैं? बाइक्वाड्रेटिक. जो polynomial की डिग्री 4 होती है उसे क्या बोलते हैं? बाइक्वाड्रेटिक polynomial. Examples of the what polynomial? See the linear polynomials first. Linear polynomial p of x is equal to 3x plus its degree is what here? 1. p of x is equal to what? 4x minus 7. इसकी डिग्री भी क्या है यहाँ पर? The degree of this polynomial is also what here? 1. Yes. Quadratic polynomial. See here the degree of this polynomial, quadratic polynomial, the degree is what here? 2. It is what? Quadratic polynomial. The degree is what here? 2. It is what? Quadratic polynomial. Next, cubic polynomials. Here highest degree in this 1, 2, 3, 4 terms are here. Its degree is what here 1. Its degree is what 2 here. Highest degree is what here 3. Highest degree is what here 3. Then it is called as what? Cubic polynomial. In the second example also highest degree is what here 3. Then it is also called as what? Cubic polynomial. Yes. Next, biquadratic polynomial. Biquadratic. See here, the highest degree is what here? 4. Highest degrees. If the highest degree of the polynomial is 4, then that is called as what? Biquadratic polynomial. इसे क्या बोलते हैं? Biquadratic polynomial बोलते हैं. Yes. Any doubts up to here? If you have any doubt, please comment me. Yes. Next, zero of the polynomial. Zero of the polynomial. Let us try to understand what is the meaning of zero of the polynomial. A real number k. A real number k is said to be zero of a polynomial. A real number is k. This k is said to be what? Zero of a polynomial p of x. If the p of x gives the what? The value of p of x gives the what? 0. Then it is said to be what? Zero of the polynomial. Geometrically, the zeros of polynomial. See here, it is very important. Geometrically, the zeros of polynomial p of x are precisely the x coordinate. Precisely the x coordinate. It is very important. Remember this one. It is very important. X coordinates. Yes. X coordinate of the points where the graph of y is equal to p of x, where the graph of y is equal to p of x intersects the what? X axis. It must intersect the what? X. If it is intersect the x axis, then it is very easy to find the what? 0. If it is intersect y axis, then there is no zeros of the polynomial. It must be intersects the what? X axis. Then we can easily calculate the what? Graphically zeros of the polynomial. If it is intersect on the y axis, then the zero of the polynomial is what? There is no zero of the polynomial if it is intersect the what? Y axis. Once again recall, a real number k is said to be a zero of the polynomial p of x if p of k is equal to 0. If you substitute the value that real number in the given polynomial, the value of the polynomial become what? 0. Then the value is called, whatever value we have put in the polynomial, that value is said to be what? 0 of the polynomial. Later we will come to know that while solving the problem, this one. Geometrically, the zeros of the polynomial p of x are precisely the x coordinates. Here we have to, the x coordinate of the point is called as what? 0 of the polynomial, where the graph of the y is equal to p of x intersects the what? X axis. The x coordinates are called as what here? 0 of the polynomial. A linear polynomial has, see here, 1 minute. It is our very important points. Sometime direct question will be appear. A linear polynomial has one and only one zero. A linear polynomial has only one zero. A quadratic polynomial has at most two zeros. It must have at most two zeros. A cubic polynomial has at most three zeros. At most 3 zeros. Next, in general, we can say in general, a polynomial of degree n has at most n zeros. At most n zeros. If it has a 4 degree, then it must has a what? 4 zeros. If it has 5 as a degree, then it has a 5 zeros of the polynomial. In general, we can say if the polynomial of degree n has at most n zeros, we can say. Next, zero of polynomial graphically, how to calculate? See here, suppose this is the graph is given for you. Determine the what? Zeros of the polynomial. This is what? Y is equal to f of x, we can say. Then y is equal to what? F of x or p of x, whatever it may be. Here it cuts the what? X coordinate at this point a and a dash. A and a dash. Here also a dash and a. Since the graph cuts the x-axis at the 2 points, that is a and a dash, and here is also what, a dash and a, then the number of zeros are what here, 2 from the above these two. The zeros of this graph is what, 2, and zeros of this graph is also what, 2, because it cuts the what, 2 points on the what, x-axis. Therefore the number of zeros of these graphs are what, 2. Here the graph cuts the, see here the graph cuts the x-axis at two distinct means what, two different points. दो अलग अलग पॉइंट, डिस्टिंक्ट का मतलब दो अलग अलग, two different points a and a dash. The x coordinates of a and a dash are the what, two zeros of the what, quadratic polynomial. Yes, let us take two more examples onto the what, graphically. Here this graph, the graph cuts the x-axis at only one point, that is a. Here also the graph cuts the x-axis only one point, that is a. Then the zeros of the polynomials are what? Number of zeros are what here? 1. Number of zeros are what here? 1. Next, listen here, and one more last graph in this. Since here the graph is not cutting the x-axis, it is cutting the what? Y-axis. At this point y-axis, and here also what? Y dash. Then there is no zero, that is number of zeros are what? 0. It must cut the what? X-axis. If it cuts the y-axis, then there is no zeros of the polynomial. Here the graph is either completely above the x-axis or below the x-axis. We can say if the graph cuts the what, y-axis, means the graph is either completely above the x-axis or below the x-axis. So it does not cut the x-axis at any point. It does not cut the what, x-axis at any point. Here the graph is either completely above the x-axis or below the x-axis. So it does not cut x-axis at any point. So it has no zeros of polynomial. It has no zeros of polynomial. So let's try to understand relationship between zeros and coefficients of the polynomial. It is very important to solve the what MCQs or problems, we can say. So first of all, for quadratic polynomial, let us try to understand for quadratic polynomial first. It is very important because we are going to solve the MCQs based on this quadratic polynomial. If alpha and beta, see here, if alpha and beta are the zeros of the polynomial, if alpha and beta are the what, zeros of the polynomial, p of x is equal to ax square plus bx plus c, and a is not equal to 0. X minus alpha and x minus beta, x minus alpha and x minus beta are the what, factors of the p of x. See here, if alpha and beta are the what, zeros of the polynomial, p of x is equal to ax square plus bx plus c, and a is not equal to 0. And x minus alpha and x minus beta are the what, factors of p of x, then the sum of the zeros of the polynomial alpha plus beta, the sum of the zeros are denoted by what, alpha plus beta. Alpha plus beta means what, sum of the zeros is equal to minus coefficient of x divided by coefficient of x square, we can say. Remember, coefficient of x divided by coefficient of x square, that is alpha plus beta is equal to, see here, what is the coefficient of x here? In the quadratic polynomial, what is the coefficient of x here? The coefficient of x is what here? B. And the coefficient of square is what here? A. Yes. So minus of the, then alpha plus beta is equal to what? Minus b divided by a. Minus b divided by a. This is the what, sum of the zeros of a quadratic polynomial. And product of the zeros of the quadratic polynomial, product of the zero, alpha is the one zero and beta is another zero. Their product, alpha into beta, constant term divided by coefficient of x square. Constant term divided by coefficient of x square. What is the constant term in the polynomial? C is the what here? This is the C is the what, constant term. C is the what, constant term. That is C divided by coefficient of x square is what, A. This is what, product of zeros. Product of zero, and this is alpha plus beta is what, sum of zeros. Sum of zeros of quadratic polynomial. Now relation between zeros and coefficient of a polynomial of cubic polynomial. Let us try to understand for cubic polynomial what is the relationship between the zeros and coefficient of cubic polynomial if alpha and beta and gamma are the what the zeros of the cubic polynomial. If alpha, beta, gamma are the what zeros of the cubic polynomial. If alpha, beta, gamma are the zeros of the cubic polynomial, p of x is equal to ax cube plus bx square plus cx plus d, then p of x is equal to x cube plus bx square plus cx plus d, then sum of the zeros, sum of the zeros means what? Alpha plus beta plus gamma. Alpha plus beta plus gamma, sum of the zeros. Alpha is the zero of the polynomial, beta is also zero, and gamma is, it's a sum means what? Alpha plus beta plus gamma is equal to minus coefficient of x square divided by coefficient of x cube. Coefficient of x square, what is the coefficient of x square here? B. Coefficient of x cube is what here? A. That is alpha plus beta plus gamma is equal to what? Minus b by a. This is the sum of the zeros of cubic polynomial. Sum of zeros of cubic polynomial. Cubic polynomial. This one. Alpha plus beta plus gamma is equal to what? Minus b by a. Where b is the coefficient of x square and a is the what? Coefficient of x cube. Then product of zeros of the cubic polynomial. Product of zeros alpha into beta into gamma is equal to minus constant term divided by coefficient of x cube. Constant term divided by coefficient of x cube. In the cubic polynomial, this d is the what? Constant term. This d is the what? Constant term. D is the what? Constant. D is constant term and coefficient of x cube is what here? A. Here that is minus d by a. Constant term is what here? D minus d by a. This is the what? Product of zeros of cubic polynomial. Product of zeros of cubic polynomial. Cubic polynomial. Yes, this is what? Product of zeros of cubic polynomial. And one more important result, product of sum of zeros taken two at a time. Here, product of sum of zeros. Product of sum of zeros taken two. 2 means what? 2 alpha into beta plus beta into gamma plus gamma into alpha, and it's a sum, that is plus 2 at a time, alpha plus beta, alpha into beta plus beta into gamma plus gamma into alpha. That is coefficient of x divided by coefficient of x cube. That is coefficient of x is what here? C, and coefficient of x cube is what here? A. Product of sum of zeros taken two at a time, that is alpha plus beta plus gamma plus alpha is equal to what? Coefficient of x divided by coefficient of x cube, that is equal to what? C by A. Next, formation of quadratic polynomial. Formation of quadratic polynomial. How to form the quadratic polynomial? Here, formation of quadratic polynomial. Formation of quadratic polynomial. Formation of quadratic polynomial. And not written heading here. Write the heading. A quadratic polynomial whose zeros are alpha and beta is given by. A quadratic polynomial whose zeros are alpha comma beta is given by p of x is equal to x square minus, always minus, here sum of the zeros, that is alpha plus beta, we can say alpha plus beta into x plus product of the zeros means what? Alpha into beta, that is p of x is equal to x square minus sum of the zeros means what? Alpha plus beta into x, product of the zeros means what? Alpha into beta, and sum of the zeros are nothing but alpha plus beta is equal to what? Minus b by a, that we have learned in the previous. Alpha plus beta is what? Minus b by a, and product of the zeros means what? Alpha into beta is what? C by a, minus b by a, c by a. And formation of cubic polynomial, this is a cubic polynomial cubic polynomial whose zeros are alpha, beta, gamma. A cubic polynomial whose zeros are a cubic polynomial whose zeros are alpha, beta, gamma is given by p of x is equal to x cube minus sum of zeros x square plus sum of the zeros into x square plus sum of the product of the zeros taken 2 at a time. Sum of the product of the zeros taken 2 at a time into x minus product of zeros minus product of zeros minus product of, that is p of x is equal to x cube minus sum of the zeros, that is alpha plus beta plus gamma, plus product sum of the product of two zero product of the zeros taken 2 at a time, that is alpha into beta plus beta into gamma plus gamma into alpha into x minus product of the zeros means minus alpha into beta into gamma. This is the what product of the zeros. And in the last, division algorithm for the what polynomials. Division algorithm of the what polynomials. If p of x, it is very important to find the what remainder quotient for division algorithm. As we are applying the division of algorithm in the real number, in the same manner we are applying the what division algorithm for the polynomial. If p of x and g of x, if p of x and g of x are any two polynomial, these are the what any two polynomial with g of x is not equal to 0, then we can find the polynomials. Then we can find the polynomial, that is q of x and r of x. This q of x is what quotient and r of x is what remainder, we can say. This is remainder, this is quotient. Q of x is quotient, r of x is what remainder, p of x is what polynomial, g of x is what, it is also polynomial, it is called dividend. This is what g of x is what divisor. Yes, that is p of x is equal to, this p of x is called, here this p of x is called as what, p of x is called as what dividend, g of x is called a divisor. P of x is equal to g of x into q of x. Q of x is what quotient plus r of x is what remainder. This is called division algorithm, where degree of r of x, that is the power of r of x, must be less than the what degree of g of x. The power of r of x must be less than the degree of g of x, that is divisor, we can say. Q of x is called quotient, r of x is called as what remainder, and p of x is what dividend. P of x is dividend, and g of x is called divisor. Important note related to this: if r of x is equal to 0, if the remainder is 0, remainder of the polynomial after getting the division, if r of x is 0, then the g of x is a factor of p of x. Then g of x is what factor of p of x when if r of x is 0. If r of x is, that is if remainder is 0, then the g of x is what factor of the given polynomial. Dividend is equal to divisor. Dividend is equal to divisor into quotient plus remainder. Last one, value of the polynomial. It is very important to find the what value of the polynomial. If p of x is a polynomial in x, in x and alpha is any real number, then the value obtained by putting x is equal to alpha in p of x is called the what value of p of x. If p of x is a polynomial in x and alpha is any real number, then the value obtained by substituting the value of x as alpha in the given polynomial, that is by putting x is equal to alpha in the p of x, is called the what value of p of x at the given point x is equal to alpha. So we will solve the two examples to find the value of the given polynomial. See here, if p of x is equal to, if p of x is equal to x cube minus 3x square plus 5x plus 1, find p of n, p of 2, p of 3. This is what alpha 1, 2, 3 are the what real number. So let us try to understand the solution of this problem. That is p of x is equal to x cube minus 3x square plus 5x plus 1. That is p of 1 cube minus 3 into 1 square plus 5 into 1 plus 1. 1 cube means 1, 1 square means 1, 3 ones are 3 plus 5 ones are 5 plus 1, 5 plus 1, 6, 6 plus 1, 7, 7 minus 3. It is what 4. This 4 is called the value of the polynomial at the point p of 1. Similarly, you can calculate the what value of the polynomial by putting 2, by putting 3. In this video, this theory concept of the what polynomial is completed. In the next video, we are going to learn how to solve the MCQs for TET and CTT and CET examination. If you have any doubt, dear students, just ask me in the comment box also. If you want any doubts and any clarification related to the what theoretical part or MCQs part, you can contact me also by my number. That is, my number is 9110689094. So you can contact if you have any queries or doubts related to the what 9110689094 or 8951821399 for your clarification or for your doubts. Yes, or else you can WhatsApp me on this number, that is 911. This is WhatsApp. This is my WhatsApp number. Yes, if you have any doubts. So in the next video, we are going to learn how to solve the MCQs. So keep watching my videos and enjoy the classes. And please like, share and subscribe my channel. Thank you so much for watching this video.